Hey everybody, I hope you're having a good evening. Let me know if you're tuning in, if you can hear me. I'm trying a different microphone today, so I haven't used it before, so I'm hoping you can hear me a little bit better. So first person to comment, let me know if you can hear me. I did want to jump on and give you some Daybell news that has been filed. A lot of pages filed in court over the past 2 days, yesterday. John Pryor, Chad Daybell's attorney, filed 2 separate motions. For those of you watching, let me know if you can hear me. Leave me a comment so I won't continue to talk. If you can't hear me, I'll swap out this microphone. But just comment, yes, we can hear you, you sound fine, or no, we can't hear a word you're saying before I go any further, because I don't want to do a bunch of talking and have you not be able to hear me. Okay, good, you got me. So here's the bottom line. John Pryor has filed 2 motions. He said Chad Daybell does not want his trial in January. He wants it at the earliest, October of 2023. So a year from now is when Chad Daybell wants his trial. He also wants it separate from Lori. He wants it severed. They want to have their own trial, and they want to hear it in late 2023. Both of them currently are scheduled to be tried right now in January. This is a death penalty case. Prosecutors are seeking death on both Lori and Chad. So there's a lot that has to be done. The bar is much higher during a death penalty case. So John Pryor filed 2 separate motions. They're each about 30 pages. One is the motion to continue. Mr. Daybell requests the court hold a status hearing in January to set a new trial date. In the event the court sets a new trial date, Mr. Daybell respectfully requests a date no earlier than October of 2023. You might remember that back in December, when the prosecution and the defense and the judge all got together, Rob Wood initially asked for the trial in September of 2023. John Pryor is the one who asked for it in this month, October of 2022. So then the judge said, okay, we'll compromise, we'll go for January of 2023. So it's now Pryor going back to the judge saying, actually, we're not ready. Can we do it next fall? And he goes through several reasons why he wants it delayed. He says he's waiting on evidence from the prosecution, which the prosecution, the deadline has not passed to turn over any evidence that they have. So he's waiting for that. He also says that there's 2, because this is a death penalty case, there's two different trials, quote unquote, that Pryor has to prepare for. He has to prepare for the actual merit trial, which is where they go over evidence. Then he has to prepare for the sentencing trial, which is separate. He's saying he is just now getting started on the sentencing portion of the trial, so he is not ready for that. So again, he's asking that Chad Daybell's trial be held in October of 2023. He's also asking that the cases be severed. Now, he's done this before. He's filed a motion that Lori and Chad should be tried separately. He wants them tried separately, and he says that basically Chad's constitutional rights will be at jeopardy if this trial is held together, if he and his wife appear together. The prosecution has argued the evidence is the same. The witnesses are the same. It will save a lot of time. It will save a lot of money. You won't have to pick 2 separate juries. Have it all together. And Judge Boyce has agreed. In fact, in the past, he has denied the request from John Pryor to separate these trials. And Pryor is trying again to have these trials severed. He brings up several reasons why, one of them being the fact that Chad is now asking to have the trial delayed. Lori has not waived her right to a speedy trial. Because of that, legally, she's got to have her trial as soon as possible. So Pryor is saying, well, listen, Lori won't waive her right Chad to have a speedy trial. Chad wants the trial pushed back. Logistically, that's not going to work. Even if Lori's is pushed back to October of 2023, another year, Pryor is still saying that Chad's rights are constitutionally violated. He also made an interesting note that there's gender bias when it comes to sentencing. He's saying that during the sentencing phase, Chad could be at an unfair position because people might look at a man. I'm paraphrasing now. People might look at a man and say he deserves a worse sentence than a woman, which is an interesting argument to bring up. So on October 13th, the issue for the severance will be heard at a hearing. The judge will probably talk about the continuance proposal. The prosecution, Rob Wood and Lindsay Blake and Rachel Smith, they will obviously most likely respond to these motions. Whether they still agree with pushing it back could be seen. It will be interesting to hear what happens. A lot of you are asking what I think. I will be surprised if a trial actually happens in January. But I also won't be. Lori has not signed her right to have a speedy trial taken away. She wants the trial to be held, and that's her constitutional right to have that. Now, if tomorrow she decides to sign away that right, I can almost guarantee her attorneys will file a motion to continue. They've only been on the case since April of this year. I mean, they've been on it earlier, but that's when she was held competent. And this is a death penalty case. A lot of work goes into death penalty cases. They do an entire investigation on the defendant's childhood until now about, everything. So because it's a death penalty case, it's very likely that this won't be happening in January. So there will be another year of us doing videos like this. If the judge grants it. The judge could say, no, we're going forward in January. We've got to have it. We've got the courthouse in Ada County reserved for 10 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks. We got to do it. I mean, it's possible that the courthouse won't have a courtroom big enough to hold it later in the year. So there's a lot at play here, a lot of logistical things, but also legal things, which are at the top of the mind of the judge and obviously the attorneys. In case you haven't heard, cameras have been banned, including still cameras and video cameras. Judge Boyce ruled on that order last Friday. So there are no cameras in the upcoming proceedings. A lot of you are asking about audio feeds. We are exploring that option about maybe providing a live audio feed or something that you can listen to the hearings. Obviously, we were very disappointed that cameras were not allowed, and that's what I'll say about that. So, real quick recap, if you're just tuning in, John Pryor has filed a motion. He says that his client, Chad Daybell, wants the trial pushed back. It's supposed to start in January. They're asking for it to start no earlier than October of 2023. He's also asking that the judge separate the cases. He says Chad won't get a constitutionally fair trial if the trials are held together. He has asked for this request before. The judge has denied that request before. So I'm not sure how Boyce will rule on it at this point. Next hearing, October 13th. We'll be there. I know that you all can't be there, but we'll be in the courtroom. I'll be there. Of course, I'll keep you posted on what the judge decides there and what is discussed there. So we wish you the best and keep in touch. Bye.